Hello, I'm Bill Boggs. Welcome to the Corner Table, where we sit down and have a meal with a celebrity in one of their favorite restaurants. Today we're headed to the Blue Ribbon in Manhattan's colorful Soho area, which is noted for its art galleries, shopping, and profusion of good restaurants that makes it a destination for fine dining. Right now it's a little bit before lunchtime. Normally, the Blue Ribbon doesn't even open until 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then keeps serving food until 4 in the morning. But today, the owners, Ellen, Eric, and Bruce Bromberg, have fired up the kitchen early, especially for our corner table guest. He's one of their best and most famous customers, NBC's Matt Lauer. Matt's the new host of NBC's Today Show. He just recently took over for Bryant Gumbel.
And welcome to Today on this Monday morning, a very special Monday morning for our friend Matt Lauer. So how did that sound? You want to hear it again? One more time, let's hear it
Go
again.
ahead, play it back, can you?
This is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer.
Now, Matt's been up since about 4 o'clock in the morning, so at this point in the day, you can bet he's pretty hungry. So join me here at the Blue Ribbon for a corner table lunch with one of the most important men in television, the Today Show's Matt Lauer.
Pretty show today. I watched the whole thing.
Thank you. I'm glad.
How are you doing?
Thank you very well.
Hey,
Fine.
Good to see you, sir. How are you doing? Very well, thank you. How are you? Good. I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right.
You have the good stuff?
This is great. We have our own private table. I always call up and say, it's Saturday night. I know you're maybe a little busy. Can you just get me a table for 11? And she says, yeah, fine. That's not a problem.
Very private.
We opened up just for you, man.
Listen, they're great anyway.
Good spot.
Well, welcome to the corner table, Matt. Let's sit down and have lunch.
Thanks. Great to
Thank
see
you
you.
for coming. Good luck.
I could be
healthy. 97. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On taking over one of the most important jobs in television. Are you a betting man at all?
Not a gambler, no. I mean, I'll look at the odds on a football game every once in a while.
What are the odds that you'll end up marrying one of those women outside with the "Marry Me, Matt" signs?
That would be slim. You know, it's funny. People ask about those signs all the time. They say, "What do you think about that?" You have to remember something here. Those people write those things on those signs for one reason and one reason only. Because if they write, "Matt has a big nose," they're not getting on the air.
Have you seen that sign out there?
No, I mean, I've seen some signs out there where you look and you think, well, you're not getting on the air with that
Get
sign,
out
lady.
of here,
So they've
pal.
learned after
Right.
3 years in that studio, if they put "We love Matt" or "We love Al" or "We love Katie,"
You're on.
You're on TV.
But that's when I knew that my career was heading in a different direction than yours, when I saw that on the air one day, and I went to park and I saw a woman holding up a sign that said, "We'll work for food."
Yeah, right. That was your big...
That was my day. That was my encounter with the sign. What's your day been like so far, Matt?
It hasn't changed all that much
today.
for me. Oh, today.
When did the alarm go off?
4:15 this morning, the alarm goes off, which is every day. I'm at work today. I got there at about 5 after 5.
What do you use as stimulants in the morning? It's okay, you know.
No, these are legal stimulants. I'm a 1 cup of coffee a day guy. First thing I do when I walk into the studio at about 5 after 5, I go into the kitchen at the studio and I grab 1 cup of coffee. That's it for the day. Only because it gets me going, but also if I'm the type of person, if I drink coffee past 10 in the morning, it does bad things.
It's like the roller coaster effect.
I feel it very much, whereas in the morning, it really just serves as a wake-up call. Then I like to have like an oyster.
Well, guess
usually
what?
first thing in the morning.
Hey!
Bruce, how are you?
Bruce,
Good to see you. Thank you very much. What are the oysters we're having today?
We're having Blue Point oysters.
They're the warm water oysters, right?
Well, these are
These are the best
only if
oysters.
we have warm water in Long Island.
This is one of the main reasons that this is my favorite restaurant, because they have really, in my opinion, the great raw bar in New York. And the other food is great too, but you start the meal off here with oysters and shrimp, and they have, do you say crawfish or crayfish?
We say whichever the customer.
Right, yeah, exactly. Diplomat over here.
Have you ever tried tofu ravioli? I did. Is this your main meal of the day at this point? When you come off work a little before lunch like now?
I tend to have a late lunch usually. This is not the normal time I would do it. I would have a late lunch at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then a lot of times not have dinner. Because
that makes sense.
if you go to bed at 9:30 at night and you eat at 7:30 at night, you go to bed feeling like a blimp. So I'd rather eat a big meal in the afternoon and kind of let it carry me through.
What is your actual discipline about the night before? For example, Sharon Stone calls.
Yeah.
Cindy Crawford, "Matt, I've been watching you. I love you. Can you meet me at O Bar at 10:30 tonight?"
You
Do you go?
You're calling sick the next day, basically. Say, Ann Curry, can you fill in? Do you like lemon on these, by the way?
Oh, yeah, I'll take some lemon on your oysters.
You know what? I basically, when I got the job this year, Bill, I wrote Christmas cards to friends, and I said, hey, listen, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'll see you in a year.
Yeah.
I really believe this, and I'm being serious for a second here. This job becomes my life this year.
Yeah. So what kind of eating discipline goes along with this, Matt? What are the absolute no-nos so that when you show up, you're at your peak 5 days a week?
I wish I could tell you that I'm one of the people who's great at that, but I have already noticed in a couple of, in a short amount of time doing this job that it's starting to take an effect. I don't eat well in the morning. I'm always running in the morning.
Yeah.
Lunch is tough for me because we can be out shooting during lunchtime. So I have to make a conscious effort to sit down and kind of do what you're doing. Get the vegetables, get some seafood. Try not to eat the hamburger and French fries. I'm very much the type of person who could do that. I could eat garbage pizza every night of the week. It wouldn't bother me. You know the one thing I'm doing now, which is the best thing I've ever done?
What's that?
Water. I am a water guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
I
too.
drink 2 of those big bottled water containers every day.
Why? What has it done for you?
A guy told me it gives you energy, which sounds ridiculous. It does. It's great for your skin.
Yeah.
I just feel better all around when I drink the water, and I notice now if I have a couple of days where I don't do that.
Matt's also noticed that big TV stardom has meant pesky tabloid coverage.
I literally was in a supermarket, Bill, buying ice cream one day, standing at the checkout line. I look down and I see Katie's picture on the front of these things, and I go, ooh, they got Katie doing something. And I grab it, and I take it out of the rack, and it says, Katie caught in love triangle with newsreader Matt Lauer. And I was like, oh my. You get limp in the line there. You can't believe this has happened.
Yeah.
I guess the thing that you have to say to people, and I had my dad call me one time after that article, and I said, Dad, how you doing? He said, I'm fine. How are you doing? And I said, I'm all right, Dad. Why? He said, because we read in the newspaper. I said, Dad, it's not a newspaper.
And how does Matt feel about that hunk label that he hears all the time?
I don't know. I think it's demeaning. I really do. I think it would be like, would I walk around and call a woman on TV a babe?
That's just exactly what I was going to say.
I wouldn't do that. I'll be honest with you. If I were to call a woman in my office a babe,
Right.
she should take me to personnel. But
Right.
if somebody were to call me a hunk at work, they should go also.
They should go.
It should be.
The question is, I don't think it would happen quite. The chef owners are New Jersey brothers, Eric and Bruce Bromberg, who trained in France at Le Cordon Bleu. Eric's wife Ellen runs the front of the house. It seats 45 with a compact kitchen, separate prep room, and every other inch used for storage. The eclectic menu boasts one of the most popular raw bars in town. The late hours make it a hotspot for hungry chefs like Emeril Lagasse and Mario Batali. So I asked the early rising Matt Lauer what he likes about the place.
This has got a great menu of combinations of food. You can come in here, you have the raw bar, you start with oysters and shrimp. Then you look at the menu and they've got a hanger steak.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people haven't had. And I've had people I brought to dinner who said, what is a hanger steak? It's a terrific cut of meat. They have pigeon here. How many times? David is one of the waiters here.
Right.
Actually came up to me the other night and said, have you ever tried the pigeon? I said, I haven't. He goes, it's not what you think. In New York, we hate pigeons. They're flying.
Enough about food for a moment. If 2 guys have lunch, there's one subject they're very likely to discuss. How about over the years, your relationship with women? Have you, like some of the dating years on, always been a guy who enjoyed the company of girls and women? Did you feel comfortable, in adolescence, going out on dates for the first time and all?
Just a couple of guys sitting over a few oysters talking about women.
Talking about women.
You think I think you need to have a few more oysters, to be honest with you, Bill.
Oysters are bringing it out of me.
Man, oh man. We need more tofu for you.
Tofu is kind of oyster Boggs style.
Yeah. Yes, Bill, I have always enjoyed the company of women. I have. I have to admit.
You were never a shy guy?
Yeah, I was a little shy at times.
Yeah.
You know what happens when you start to do a little bit better and you start to have a little more success, you start to gain a little confidence, and I think maybe if you were shy at one time, you learn to kind of break the ice a little bit more, which helps.
What were... Well, I was wondering. Because there are people.
There are books you could buy, if you want to read up on this.
Oh, I need no help in this department. I just was wondering about you.
I'm okay at the moment.
Good.
Thank you.
What, at this point then, with your schedule being what it is, what would constitute, say, a romantic afternoon, I guess? Since
Chicken wings at happy hour.
That's good.
Couple of half-price margaritas. Boom, home for a few hours. You're done. That's it.
chicken wings and margaritas.
Yeah, I am the kind of guy who, when I first meet people, I have to say, can we go out for dinner? And if it's during the week, you have to say, by the way, I may pick you up a little early. And they say, well, what's early? They're thinking 8,
Right.
7:30. Well, how about 5:45? I mean, it's terrible. My work life at the moment does not allow for a social life. That's why you need somebody who's very understanding.
Do you have
Or
anybody?
desperate. One of the two.
Are you involved?
You know, I'll go out with you because I've got no other choices.
You're out with me now, pal. We're not
That's
even.
right.
We're not even
And you
midway through.
notice there's nobody sitting in the other 2 chairs, are there?
Just a couple of guys with oysters and tofu. What can I say? Are you involved with anybody now?
Not at the moment, no. Not really.
Me either.
Really?
You're starting to look better.
It's starting to worry me.
No, there have been times in my career when
Does this show come with a 900 number at the bottom? Do you super that on? What happens here?
we're releasing our own tape of this.
You used to have a legitimate career when I knew you. You're doing a single show here now, and I'm the dupe of a food show.
What do you think about how many times in your career have you had to do a conversation with somebody about oysters and oysters as an aphrodisiac? I am so fed up with that topic.
Do you remember there was a show I did, and you remember this show? I did a terrible, terrible program for about a year here in New York where we would cover this on a regular basis, this type of show, where it was the...
9 Broadcast Plaza.
Thanks for remembering, Bill.
Our
You know, you could have fished around for that a little bit before just coming right out with it.
I'll tell you why. Because we can't even find tapes of the program.
Do you know
They've all
why?
been erased.
I have destroyed those tapes. I have destroyed those tapes.
What was the worst moment that you can remember from 9 Broadcast Plaza? And if you say it's a guy asking you about, were you comfortable with women, I'll kill you.
The
lowest point.
We have a publicist from NBC over in the corner here who's going to scream when I say this, but I will tell you I had to do an hour and a half. This was a 3-hour live show every day. I had to do an hour and a half on women who fake orgasm. Do I look like the kind of guy who's be comfortable talking about that for a half a minute, much less an hour and a half?
I'm sure it's a subject you weren't even familiar with.
And that's how low it got. And I couldn't wait. You know what? I couldn't wait to get off of that program. The straw that broke the camel's back for me, I would be interviewing, we'd do that half hour, and then we'd go over to interviewing Jesse Jackson. I mean, that's how screwed up this show was. One day they bring me into an office and say, Matt, we have a great idea for this program.
What's that, Matt?
We're going to start to do live commercials.
Ooh.
So in between your interview with Jesse Jackson and Mario Cuomo, we want you to do a 1-800 dial-a-mattress commercial. You are literally going to be in the studio. We're going to wheel a bed in a commercial break. You're going to sit there and go, do you need a new mattress? Well, call 1-800. I said, you've got it. I was waiting for them to laugh. I said, you've got to be kidding me. They said, we're not kidding. We just signed dial-a-mattress. I said, well, that's it. 3 months later, they fired me.
Yeah, but you know something? Part of what makes you good at the Today Show is your ability to adapt quickly to different subjects. And as crazy as it was, it probably helped you.
I didn't do it.
No, I don't mean
I
the
refuse
mattress
to do
commercials.
it.
I mean 9 Broadcast Plaza.
Oh, yeah.
Having to do so much different stuff.
No, that's true. I think with the strength of the Today Show and what makes it a difficult show to do, and hopefully, I hope I do this well, is you do have to make a lot of transitions,
Before his ascension at the Today Show, Matt had a tough period of underemployment that tested and strengthened him.
I had to look at those 3 shows that had been canceled in a row and the contract that was not renewed and say, you can't blame it on a producer. You can't blame it on the time slot. You got to say, what am I doing wrong? And if you can do that honestly and you still think you have a reason to be in this business, then stick it out.
Well, what was the answer you gave yourself?
I still thought that I had something to offer, that given the right opportunity and the right subject matter to talk about, I could offer something. And I also had some people around me that told me to stick to my guns about quality. For example, in that time of underemployment, I was offered some things that I decided not to do. Mm-hmm. It would have paid the rent for me. It would have made life a lot easier.
It's a tricky decision. Very difficult.
I was offered some infomercials. I was offered the pilot for a game show. And I knew that if I did the game show, I'd never do what I wanted to do again.
But things changed quickly when he was hired by WNBC, a local New York station where we worked together.
The Rolling Stones are going to be performing at Radio City Music Hall as part of the show, and they're going to do 2 songs. Do you know which 2 songs the Stones are going to be performing? Take a guess.
Is one of them going to be from Voodoo Lounge?
All right, let me tell you. First, one is Matt Lauer's theme song for 3 o'clock in the morning, Start Me Up, right, with that coffee. And the other is...
the turnaround came in 1992. It was fairly dramatic, and the last 4 years have seemed a little bit like I'm living someone else's life. And that's the nicest way I can put it, because I still get a kick out of every single thing that's happened to me in that time. But it was only because I experienced those lean years.
You still have, more gratitude, much more gratitude
Yeah.
now than if it had just been a great progression straight upward.
Yeah.
You still live in the same, oh, hey, Bruce, how you
These
doing?
were fantastic.
You finished
They
here
were
now?
great. I left 2 for you here, or 3 for you there, but they are fantastic.
Is there not?
That looks great. This
sure
this
does.
is, what is that exactly?
This is the chocolate Bruno. And actually, it's a dessert made by the chef in France who trained Eric and Bruce. Chocolate Bruno. It's like a chocolate mousse, right?
See,
It's heavy. Wait, let me show you what this really looks like. Yes, yes.
How's that?
Goodbye.
Did I lead you in the right direction here?
No more talking.
Isn't it good? This is my favorite dessert anywhere, but it's spectacular here. Creme brulee, I think, is God's gift to dessert.
What is it that you like about? I've never been a creme brulee or a flan type person. What do you like about the taste of creme brulee?
This reminds me, this is a much kind of lower level. This is fantastic, but a lower level, it reminds me of when I was a kid, making the vanilla pudding on the stove and never letting it get to the glass jars, just eating it right out of the pot while it was still hot. I just love this with the crispy top. It's fantastic.
You know, my son said to me the other day, "Dad, what's tapioca?" I said, "Wow, we can make it. We can do it at home." So you don't cook much at all, right?
Maybe one night a week, but cooking for me is the simple stuff. I mean, it's,
Pasta.
you know, it's a steak or it's Cornish hen or something like that. It's not like following a recipe, not a casserole or anything like that.
Yeah, good, right. Is a woman's ability to cook important to you in a relationship?
It would be nice. It's, you know, it's a bonus. I don't know that it's something that would make or break a relationship for me, but
A bonus.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly nice. I love to stay home. I really do. If I cooked, you know, well, I would stay home more, and if I were seeing someone who was a great cook, I would stay home more. But at the moment, you know, New York luckily has got a couple of restaurants.
If we were to go to your apartment right now, by the way, we have the keys and another crew is doing that.
Good.
And open your refrigerator door, what is inside Matt Lauer's refrigerator today?
I know exactly what's in there.
Let's hear it.
A couple of bottles of wine.
What kind?
There's probably...
Red wine, right? You always keep that in the refrigerator.
Yeah, right. I love to chill that red wine, just until I take the screw-off top off of it. There's probably some Chardonnay in there. There's probably a bottle of champagne in there. There are probably about 5 or 6 liters of water in there. There are things like eggs, butter, milk, the classics. And there's probably some sushi from about 11 days ago.
Right,
In a tin container.
starting to walk around.
Yeah. You open the door, it goes, "It's all right, it's all right." That's it.
I want you to turn back the clock and describe what the Lauer dinner table was like when you were 12 years old on a typical Tuesday or Wednesday night.
We had, I think one of the things that we did, which I don't think a lot of families do today because of time restraints and things like that, we had dinner together. I mean, when my stepfather would get home, we would find a way to sit down and all have dinner together. Once or twice a week, we'd have the old reliables. And for me, it was pot roast and potato pancakes. As a matter of fact, when I used to go away to college, when I would come home, the first night I was home was always pot roast and potato pancakes with applesauce on the side, and that was my welcome home meal. And she's still a good cook. She's living alone now. She doesn't cook as much. But I mean, Thanksgiving at my mom's house is still special.
Pot roast for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, always. That's good. We're not a very traditional family.
Another thing I want to ask you is, this is a hypothetical question, but we're assuming you don't have to work tomorrow. So let's say it's like a Friday night.
Okay.
Friday night, you've had a good week, feeling comfortable in the new role. You could be beamed up, just like Star Trek, and beamed down anywhere on Earth for dinner. Where would you like to be for dinner, and with whom would you like to be having dinner?
Man, oh man. I think in this stage of my life, Bill, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind being beamed back down in my house when I was about 9 years old. You know, I get the chance in my job to go have great meals and great experiences with a lot of people. I'd be with my family, extended family, now at one of our houses.
And who would be sitting around the table?
It'd be my mom and my dad, who are divorced and haven't talked for a while, which would be a trick.
That would be great. So that's retrieving that, not from 9
Actually,
years.
they get along fine. But it would be my mom and my dad and my stepfather and my stepmother and my stepbrothers and sisters and my cousins and my sister and my new niece. And that's why Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday of the year. I like the family around the table. I like to catch up with them. To me, that makes me feel like, you know, connects me back to ground, because the job sometimes takes you in the other direction.
Well, Matt, it's been great making a reconnection with you. I want to thank you for being with us at the corner table, and I'd like you to offer, if you would, a toast to our Food Network viewers.
Cheers, happy holidays, happy New Year, and cheers to you, because you're a good guy, and sometimes the good guys win.
Well, thank you.
Cheers.